Uh-oh. Wow, I'll work that out. Good evening, everybody. Hello.
Are we live? Hello, everybody. That was so good. He was all professional. He was like 20 seconds till we're live. I don't know which one of these.
They probably caught that as well. Well, I can fix most things during.
Mikey, why am I off in the corner?
You're sat in a different position.
I'm not sat in a different position.
Hold on a minute. There we go. That's better. No, that's the wrong one. I need to unlock it, and then I can drag
Hi,
you across.
Render. Hi, Roderick. Hi, CG. Good to see you all.
Hey.
Yeah, nice.
There we go. Is that better? No, I'm taking up more of the screen now. Here you go. You have some more real estate.
What is happening?
Something you shouldn't do. You shouldn't manipulate the stream like that live, but I'm doing it anyway. I'm a rebel.
Oh, excellent.
Perfect.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Mikey and Yann Play, which is, for those of you who don't know, we have moved our stream concept. So instead of every week, we'll do a toucan talk or a Canopy chat if you're Mikey. We're going to do that once every 4 weeks. And then once every 4 weeks, we'll do some development in Godot. Once every 4 weeks, we'll do some stuff in Blender. And once every 4 weeks, we'll play a game, discuss the design and so forth. And we thought we'd kick off with the game we're working on. Mikey, do you want to talk some?
Yes. Yann's been busy. We on Friday was like, should we play this live? And it's like, but I haven't got the networking done yet. I went, no problem. You've got the weekend.
And I did it.
And he did it.
Okay. Before we talk about that, what you're about to see is unstable. It will occasionally crash the desktop. There are bugs we know about but haven't tracked down yet. Okay, so don't at me.
Yann,
I know.
Yann, they watch us. We're unstable.
No,
it's fine.
This is being recorded. Don't at me. I know. I got the networking working without too much latency this morning. So.
Yeah. It's alpha. So it's as Yann says, it's bug prone. We may get crashes. It may be really good. I may become Yann. Yann may become me. I'm just going to be the person winning, so it's fine.
I find that unlikely. But before we show you what we've got, a bunch of things have changed, and we'll show you some of that, including the new accessories and dressing room system, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'll be hosting. Mike will be joining me. Mm-hmm. Currently, this is through direct IP, which is clearly not how we're going to have it for the final game. The plan is for me to start playing with a Steam API once my networking is a bit more stable.
Yes.
And then we could just shove everything like port forwarding and stuff out the window and let Steam handle that. So that's the plan.
Hopefully there's a Steam outside the window.
Yeah.
So the plan at the moment is to actually go through the whole motions of actually publishing a game on Steam. And then fingers crossed from all that, obviously there'll be some NDAs along the way, but anything that is not NDA'd, we're going to hopefully be able to get into our courses so that we have a full cycle. So not just the development of the game, but the publishing side of things as well.
I mean, I'd like to do a basic version of this as a course one way or the other.
Yeah.
But that won't be at the same time as making it, because pretty soon I'm going to be working on 2 Godot 4 courses that are quite big at the same time. So working on 3 courses and a game at the same time will kill me.
Especially if there's any velocity in it. Yeah, so lots of fun to be had.
Hi, Gerard.
Hey, good evening. So I think we can start playing, and I do apologize. I've only just set up a scene in OBS so you can see both of our faces and the game that we're playing. But I haven't moved or sized our faces. So do
you want to show the single player dressing room, or do you just want to jump in here in the multiplayer?
Well, there's the dressing room in the multiplayer as well, so I can just show people.
So the multiplayer lobby, I'm a little bit proud of. Not going to lie.
So I'm going to get my game running, and then I'm going to switch over, and then I just need to move our faces around a little. I thought, it'd be so good if people could see both our faces, but we've got 5 minutes to go. So, Yann, you never guess what I've done. So there's an interesting bug with Godot. If you launch the game, or I think any game, in Godot, on a monitor that isn't your main monitor, it will just white screen.
Well, if you're on Windows.
If you're on Windows.
Sometimes.
Windows 11.
Because I can do it fine. Like, I think the obvious solution is for you to just install Linux. But I'm going to move my screen around like
I can hear you goading me. So I'm going to switch to the gameplay stream, and then you'll see Yann and I on top of one another. And I'm gonna make us small to begin with, but so you can see us down at the bottom here. I mean, we were very keen to make sure that things like that the game doesn't need a UI to be able to play. So, and I've got my controller all sorted. So I'm going to go and join game and press play.
Hello, Mikey.
Hello. Oh, you can see me in. I've got my excellent one. So we have a dressing room. Yann, do you want to go into the dressing room and show everybody what that looks like? I can't see what he's up to.
Change my costume, but you can see that I'm changing my costume. And
So yeah. You're a cat. I'm going to go to the dressing room. And so we've got this overlay here, and we can be several characters and we can customize what's going on. Very cartoony. And basically at the moment you can change the color of your tactic and also of the accessory itself, which is pretty awesome. I'm going to go like that, and when I go ready, if Yann is also...
Apparently I'm really quiet.
Well, speak louder. You're bouncing quite loud at the moment.
Oh, you're like me. No, that's no good.
What are the odds that we both pick this up? Pirate. So yeah.
Yann, how about that?
Yeah, you're bouncing nice and high now. I mean, compared to me, you're usually a little bit quieter.
Dramatic pose.
Da-da-da. Ready. So
we'll just start off by playing a couple of games and you can see what's happening.
Yep.
Hopefully this won't crash.
There is a chance that it might crash, though.
Okay, out of the top left, on the handsome pirate.
Da-da-da. Mine appears to be stuck on 5 at the moment. It's usually a lot quicker.
5. All right, so let me load in. Let's try that one more time.
Da-da-da-da.
Really hard to hear me, Mikey. Let me check my mic.
You're going up to -5 on the meter.
Is it full?
Well, hi Jess, by the way. Is anybody else? Yeah, Roderick said to Yann, you're too quiet. Why are you too quiet?
I'm shouting.
I think that's fine.
So we managed to play this game just fine this morning. I've played this a couple of times, and sometimes player 2 can't move.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know why. Like, I'm going to track that bug down.
Right, I've turned up your mic as high as I can turn it on my end as well. So,
so if it's not right, you have to turn off for what?
but yes, yeah, it's the same settings as last time. Let's just see if there's anything else I can do. Can you continue talking, Yann, so people can hear you?
I'm sitting in the lobby waiting for Mike. I don't know if he's coming at all. I'm sitting in the lobby waiting for Mike.
Oh, you got a lot louder then. Right, I'm going to relaunch Godot, and then I will be able to rejoin. Hopefully, Yann is a bit louder now, and if not... well, also, if people don't hear Yann, he can stick the microphone in his mouth.
I mean, it's pretty close now.
There we go. Just brought it in.
Now, there are a couple of accessories Mikey hasn't seen.
Is there? I'm going to quickly have a look through then. Pirate Ninja, Igor. The tech visor.
Still can't be heard, mate.
Really odd.
Is it one of your fancy channel things that you've done?
Shouldn't be. I mean, I can see you bouncing on OBS, like the audio and stuff. And I always try and make sure that we're both roughly the same. Yann's voice. So out of interest, if I switch... Oh, I don't want that OBS. Hold on a second, guys. So if I switch back to the one we had before, which is these two.
La 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 la.
Is Yann really quiet there?
La 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 loo.
I mean, when you were singing, you were really quiet anyway. It was like down at minus
No,
20.
it wasn't.
Yeah. It became Mikey's monologue. So Yann is
fine in this view. Okay, so let's just not do the fancy view.
Okay. So we'll have to just switch over to the... So let's go over to main screen. And can people hear Yann now?
Hello, everybody. I am saying things. La, 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 la. It's very exciting. Mikey, did you see the next accessory along?
Let's move.
This is my sound check song.
Spacesuit. I like this.
Yeah. I just made that.
Oh, mate. That's also
not bad, right? For somebody who doesn't teach Blender.
Loud and clear. Okay, we will
Shiny. Okay, so all that stuff that I said before was great. If you didn't hear it, it was fantastic. You'd have loved it. Okay, so somehow I'm Batyan, which is not who I picked. There is an issue going on with the host stuff not always coming across. Don't know why. We'll fix it, but I'll be Batyan. Hi, Space Mikey.
No.
Hold that for me. Hold that for me.
No. He dropped one before going. So it's you and me now. Right. Just you and me.
Robot's waking up.
It is. I love that.
That's mine. Hi, Mikey.
I've got the slow
you
down.
Can have that one.
No, I don't want to be slow. Have a bomb.
That's yours.
I'm at a disadvantage now. I don't know what that was.
That was a speed up.
Yay.
All right, so one of the things we've got is at this stage, the game can become a little dull. So we're about to have a zone shrink warning. And I'm going to speed these up, I think, because we need this section a little bit less boring.
Yeah.
And as this happens, the accessories will come in a lot faster. Oh, good.
Oh, you were lucky then. You... Oh! So yeah, you passed through my bomb then. I thought I was being clever. So we've got a mechanic in the game that doesn't allow a bomb to be placed on top of you and then you be unable to move and get trapped in it. And
yes, so the collision of the bomb doesn't happen if there's a tactic inside it. So if someone directly behind you, no!
Sorry,
my customization stuck.
That
was clean.
That
was a clean kill.
I am sorry if I just burst anybody's eardrums.
That was very well done.
Oh, he trapped himself.
The AI is getting pretty good. Like it makes stupid mistakes and it's very simple, but it does the job.
Well, it does mistakes that I've done, to be honest. So
sometimes,
sometimes it traps itself in a corner, and that can be frustrating.
But nice.
Oh, I was only just out of range.
I am so happy with that spaceman suit.
Oh. Is this a new level?
I've just started making it, Mikey. I was doing that while you were messing around with OBS. It's not finished, as you can tell. So the plan is to have around 10 to 12 levels or so, each with their own like theme and twist and shout. No. Mikey's got all aggressive. Flowerhead wins.
Yeah, the AI won on that one. So this is a great pick up and play game, and the battles don't last long. We think it could be a much more aggressive, as we say. The
right now it takes 30 seconds for the warning to kick in.
Yeah,
and it will keep kicking in every 30 seconds. But I think we could get that down to 15.
Oh, just you and I, Batyan.
I'm Batyan.
Mine.
We also talked a lot about the kind of power-ups we have here. Because we've at first we were like, we should add a whole bunch more power-ups. And there's like, well, I can't think of anything that actually adds to the game.
Yeah, it was really interesting
just
going
having
through the list
one
of things.
fire button. Yeah.
Things you think might add stuff to the game actually end up being worse for it. I love that
like
lightning.
you have to aim like mortars and stuff. I think Mikey's gonna win this.
Maybe. Oh.
Dramatic thunder on my side. All right, let's see.
No,
Nice.
I walked out of the zone. I was like, what am I doing down there? That's a good idea by Jess there.
What's that?
Have the sort of like
That's
zone
true.
coming in faster and faster each game, Jess, do you mean? Or do you mean each one?
So the first one might be 30 seconds, the next one might be 20, the third one might be 15. Although I think 30 seconds the first one is still a bit much. That's mine.
No.
That's mine.
No.
It is mine, I told you.
Boom.
All right, shall we talk about it?
Yep. Let's switch back over to our heads.
Let's hop on over into headshots.
And I will stop the game from making sounds. Yes, each level.
You can have it faster each level. Okay, so the first one's 30. Yeah, that could be interesting. And thank you, John. And welcome. I'm glad you enjoy it. We're having a lot of fun making it. It's about 2 weeks now I've been working on this. And it's really picked up speed a lot. And I can show you like the various accessories we've got and how I put them together. And Mikey and I've got we started a list of the kind of accessories you want to make.
Yeah.
But the really good sign is whenever I catch up with Mikey to show what I've done since we've last talked, and he'll pull the latest version, he'll then play it for 10 minutes without saying anything.
Just bear with me, Yann. I know you've got something important to say, but I've got
great.
a game
Like,
to play.
We'll start off like, what do you think of this? It's like, I've got him. So that's good. And it's also when I've been trying to debug netcode, which is my favorite thing in the world. When I'm trying to debug netcode and I just want to unwind, I'll make an accessory or I'll just play for a few minutes, and it's just fun. It's just an entertaining way to relax.
Well, it's a great way of breaking both the coding side of things up and the fact that ideally with the number of accessories we're going to go for, we're probably going to be around the, what did we say the other day? Maybe 100 to 200 different accessories. And obviously,
I think we said 200 to 300 actually, but yeah.
Do I hear more?
We might do more. I mean, at the moment they're kind of themed, and you haven't seen a lot of them. Like, we might take you through a quick tour of the ones we've got. Some of them are better than others, and I do have to go back and revisit some of them.
Yeah.
Mikey wants to do that as well, but he's in the middle of recording, so it's just finding some downtime when he wants to be on the computer. Which is fair. We want to get about 10 levels, maybe more. But that's our sort of content goal. And the idea is that you can unlock accessories by playing and winning matches. And the ones you get will be a randomized loot pinata, right? So anything you've not unlocked is in there, and you could just go in there. We might tweak it and all the rest of it, and maybe you get 2 for winning and 1 for playing, or maybe it's just 1 for winning. We don't want to get it so that if you play with your friends and one of you is just better at the game than everyone else, that they have to be stuck with no accessories. That doesn't sound fun.
Yeah.
But that means that you can really make these your own.
So over the, as you say, it's almost like a game jam, isn't it? The length of time that's that you've been focused on this, and obviously we started with a very simple game mechanic, and it's expanded from that. But we've bumped up against, and several times we bumped up against the complexity problem, where you start thinking, oh, it'd be really cool to have this or this. And we've reined ourselves back in almost every time because it moves the core game to something else.
Yeah, the core game is fun, right? Like, which is not a useful word for game design. So, all right, for those of you who've taken some of my courses, you know that I define a game as an essential experience. I was really gratified when I saw a GDC talk on making AI simple to make it believable. And the first thing the woman said was, a game is an experience. Everything else is just in support of that. The experience I'm going for here is that fun, shouting, bouncing on the sofa with your friends feel. Like, that's all it is.
Like when I bust people's eardrums a few moments ago when I'm get trapped
Exactly.
or something. Yeah.
Now, I am tempted to make some of the levels slightly different so that maybe there are some obstacles that can't be blown up. That's pretty easy to do with the grid map. But it doesn't seem to gain anything by doing things like, let's have teleporting bombs or portals or mortars or things like that. Like, that just adds a whole lot of complexity and aiming to the game.
We were even thinking about maybe even making the pickups even simpler. So for things like speeding up and slowing down, is there just one version of that rather than am I at max level yet? Because at the moment there are 5 levels of it, are there?
Is if someone picks up a pickup, if someone gets a pickup, it affects everybody.
Yeah, interesting game mechanic there.
Now, the downside of that is there's now no reason to rush for it.
Yes.
Right.
And that was fun. We had that in our game. Yeah. Yes, mine.
But it also means that the level becomes too dangerous incredibly quickly. Because bombs can trigger each other. And so once you start getting bombs with enough range, you can have chain reactions that cover the whole level. So I don't know yet. We'll play with that.
In fact, one of those caught you earlier on when we were playing. We both placed the bomb and ran off, and my or your bomb had extra range on it, and it just took out that entire column of the map.
I also think it's interesting the way that we've been upping the look of the game and the fidelity without changing the aesthetic too much. Like, there's a bunch of extra tweaks in, but we want a very simple 4-color comic feel. So lots of big spaces with one color on them in a toon shader, but we're adding more and more detail to it without compromising that. And areas where that really shows are things like the unicorn horn.
Yeah.
Why don't I show the unicorn horn?
You share that. That'd be awesome. Yeah, we were very conscious when we started adding something like the accessories for the character that we'd be in a position where we might be adding too much detail to the models themselves. And we really want to keep things really, really simple because of the aesthetic. Let me know when you're sharing your game. Yep. Awesome.
Say again?
Yep, I got it.
Originally, the unicorn horn was just a cone, right? Because I was just using primitives. The original thing was I'll just use primitives. And I've lost connection to Mikey.
I can still see you.
Great. I couldn't hear you.
Okay. No worries. I wasn't saying anything.
But as the game has gone on, it's become clear that we need these looking right. So I went to Blender and did some screw modifications and taper modifications and made a unicorn horn, and then gave it this rainbow star particle effect and turned off shadows on the horn and put a light inside it.
Yeah.
So now, if I wander around with this unicorn on a dark level, which is nice and useful, you'll see I have a pink light where the horn is and a trail of rainbow sparks. Because if you're going to be a unicorn, that's what you want, right? That's a lot more detail than we had before. And if I open the horn attachment, there we go. You can see it's still quite simple in its aesthetic, but there's a lot more detail, a lot more vertices to it.
Yeah.
Or if I open the space suit I made, like we've actually now got switches and things, which you're not really going to see, but it does add a lot. The way I've got the attachment set up as well is there's a spatial with a script. And then what it does is it says, okay, I've been told this is my player number. Go get the material for that player number, unless you're in it's showroom mode, in which case deal with that. If there's, what's the word I'm looking for? If your direct child is a mesh instance, which also includes soft bodies, which we are using, then do a material override. But if it's a child of a child, or it's something like a particle accessory or an animation player or anything else, ignore it. And that allows us to have very simple colors and controls. So one example of that might be the emergency lights.
Yes, I mean it allows us to have some control, but also give the players control as well over the aesthetic that they want for their character.
Now, this is one I'm probably going to change because, as you can see, I just made it in Godot. This is a capsule and 2 cones. And I've got a red Omni light and a blue Omni light and an animation player, and it's just spinning.
I
And
thought
that's all it is.
I thought it was amazing, by the way. With, I mean, open up the robot you made. This is just made with primitives.
This is in the villain layer. This is Roybot. And you can get quite a lot done here.
So I mean, it's great because I can't remember what it was, but a few months back I went on about how you can just do things in primitives and you get a great result. It may not be perfect, and there are certainly going to be issues with things clipping if you were to try to animate this with bending joints, etc. But as a first pass, that is spot on.
And to be honest, like what you're actually going to see in the level, once you get the fog and the lighting and the distance in. So if I go to the lab layer, which will take a little while to load in. This video thing, by the way, has slowed right down, so I hope you can see me okay.
You're a little bit jerky, but we're mainly focused on the level.
Right. So that is what you're likely to see of the robot during a victory cam. The rest of the time, you'll see it from up here. This level needs more love, by the way. Right now, it's just a box. Not to give you too much smoke and mirrors, but this is what we're looking at. This is our grid map.
Yeah.
I am using a shader I found, a water shader that turned into lava. I'm very proud of these eyeballs that follow players around and float around the place. And let's take a look at the space level, because Mikey has only seen it once.
It's brand new, so that's awesome.
Look what I made, Mikey.
Are those animated yet to pick off and fly away?
Not yet, but they will be.
Brilliant.
I was just playing with like building ideas, because what I really want to avoid is straight blank walls, right? We want to break the silhouette as much as possible. But yeah, it's coming along nicely. I found this nebula shader and it sort of inspired me.
Nice.
That is just a cube.
I mean, I do love the smoke and mirrors that goes into creating a level, because ultimately the player's only going to see from a certain vantage point. So when we actually put in the kill cams or the victory cam at the very end, that changed fundamentally how the nighttime level looked.
Well, it changed how levels had to be designed, because before then I could get away with minimal detail. I'm just going to give a quick tour of the accessories we've got so far. Let's do a nice red color. Why not? So we've got this wig. That's going to need to be redone. This mohawk is actually redone. I redid this in Blender because the original cone just didn't look.
Yeah.
The cat with a soft body tail. The dino spikes actually work fine.
We've not shown off. Sorry to interrupt. We've not shown off any of the soft bodies yet, so we should do that on the next playthrough.
Okay. By the way, I'm really proud of this system, because the smoke and mirrors going on here are great. Let me show you the smoke and mirrors here. This is, so if we go to showroom, no, it's in customizer. Yeah, okay. So there are 4 scenes being opened up, right? And depending on how many local players you have, it'll show that many windows. If there's only 1, you'll only see 1. If there's 2, you'll see 2, yada, yada, yada. But there are always 4. But each of these showroom scenes has a 3D spatial scene, right? This scene here. And what's happening is we've got a pivot in the middle. I've got a script that goes through all of these and says, get your index within the bodies, which basically says, what child number are you? I am 0, I am 1, I am 2. Go find that body color. I've got 18 body colors allowed to the player. I've put them in a circle at 20 degrees, so that's 360 degrees, and they'll just recolor themselves. Then what I'm doing is I'm spinning the camera and the light every time you do it, and I'm putting a ray to the body to see which one it is.
Nice.
So they're not spinning, we are, but it doesn't look like that. It looks like they're on a carousel, so I'm enjoying that. But we have a spatial scene, and this scene is at coordinate 0, 0, 0. And if we do that 4 times, we're going to have 4 of them at 0, 0, 0. So what I'm doing is when we start this, I'm moving each one up by 100 times player number.
Yep.
So they're just stacked on top of each other.
And then each player, who's a real player, is going to see a slightly different view. Well, a different view.
It'll look like, I mean, if I do a full player thing, each person just gets their own window.
That's a brilliant bit of smoke and mirrors.
Oh, what do you mean it's not there? It is absolutely there. Bugs. But yeah, I'm pretty proud of that. Let's just go through the accessories real quick. What did we get to?
Oh, we've not tried this with more than 2 players yet, have we?
I did try it with 3, but one of them didn't have control. But no, I need to try this with 4. Okay, here's where I started playing around with Blender. So this is a soft body rim, which unfortunately, when it moves, looks like a rubber latex witch's hat, which made me laugh so much I kept it. So it's just now a rubber hat. The aviator hat I made in Blender. I'm very proud of the solution for the goggles because Mikey pointed out the eyes are so big. How are you going to do it? So I just made them rims with no glasses.
Yep.
The crown was fun to make, and the accessory color just changes the gems. The princess hat was a lot of fun, especially when you see it moving. That cloth at the back is not just a soft body; it's really, really long and diaphanous, and it rests on the blocks and things. So it's a lot of fun. The angel, I just enjoy. The cowl, the pirate hat was made yesterday. The eye patch is great. Like I will go to bat for that.
It's coconut.
Patch. I mean, look at that. The ninja has a little soft body tie at the back, which is kind of fun. Igor is new. The tech visor has a little thing, and it's animated.
I noticed that.
That was really annoying. So yeah, those are our accessories so far. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen about now.
Okay. Perfect. And one of the things that we did think about when we started going down the accessory route is, does that add to the game? And it did get a resounding yes by the end of the journey. As soon as Yann started adding little things, you start to think that the character is more yours because you can customize it to how you want it to look.
It was interesting because it felt like such a when we first started talking about it, we were talking about it like we don't need this, right?
It
doesn't
add to the gameplay.
But then we put it in, it's like, oh no, it does. It puts so much personality into this game.
Yeah.
That we kind of need to do it.
I mean, you could dress up as the princess and be the damsel in distress running around the level.
Well, I had a situation earlier where I was testing with Mikey. We were both unicorns and the NPC was a princess. That was a great match. I played a level once where I was testing the crown and all 3 NPCs were wearing crowns. Like, don't you usurp my throne. Like, it adds a lot to it. But I think for that to work, each level has to have a lot of personality. So each one's going to have little set pieces.
Yes.
Things like the Roy Butler Death Laser in the lab powering up at certain times. Like each level's going to need stuff like that. Or the rooftop level has rain and random thunder. Stuff like that.
I mean, on one level, you could consider that sort of thing game juice, but it also adds a variety to what. I mean, if you abstract everything else away, you're running around a maze, and often the maze is the same once all the obstacles are blown out, but it's those levels that can make things different. The fact, one of the first things we changed was making a nighttime level, because when we were playing around with the shaders and getting the models to look really nice, we ended up having a glow-in-the-dark effect. And from that, I mean, happy accident, we ended up in a position where, like, what about a nighttime scene? And at one point we had a torch cone coming out the front of the character, as well as a spotlight on them. And so, but that caused a bit of, I suppose the best way of putting it is visual interference, because as you're turning, there was this cone of light casting big shadows everywhere. So that didn't last long.
The thing is, when your essential experience is essentially, I want a fun party experience, like a fun co-op party experience with my friends.
Yeah.
The game juice is essential.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like if we're doing like a simple abstract strategy game, we could get away with just basic shapes.
Or going back even earlier in the production of it, when you change the sound of the explosion from a little poof to a doom, that made a huge difference to how the game felt. And there were
And
other
the camera
things.
shake as well.
Yeah, there were a few other things, the camera shake and particle systems from the ceiling. All of these things added, and I mean the camera shake and the bits coming from the ceiling.
I've actually
didn't
removed the bits
notice,
coming from
did
the
I?
ceiling. Because although they add a bit, we have so many particles in some of the levels, it's just gratuitous.
More
So
particles.
like, you know what? Let's not slow down someone's machines on something that 1 out of 50 people will notice.
Yes.
But there's a lot of fun things I put in. Like, okay, so we have that wheel system to select them.
Yeah.
And I'd like to do something with colors and accessories, but I haven't figured out how to do that well yet. Have you seen what happens when you press random?
No.
Go on then.
I shall load it up. Bear with me a second. I don't even know if yet. There it is. Where have you put Godot? Okay. It turns out clicking the cross on the console actually shuts down Godot as well. So I've switched it over to me as well. Hi everybody. I'm full screen for a moment. That was clever. Right. Nope, wrong one. Bear with me, guys. I'm just an idiot. Oh. There we go. So the screen, main screen. Okay, there we go. Right, let's reopen Godot. So hopefully everybody can see my screen now. I press play and pull the game across.
Oh, I love the death squeak, Jessica. That was actually going to be the explosion sound, but having it go off every time a bomb went off made it less cute very quickly.
Yeah.
All right. So if you start a local game, I actually want to put in more voices like that for things like countdowns at the beginning of the level. All right, so now get the controller and just push it all the way to the top.
Okay, I clicked on random.
Yeah, it was a button. It stopped working, so I removed it. Where'd it go?
Oh. Okay, that's nice.
It was just one of those things like just having it flick to the position doesn't feel good. So let's just get this position, get this system like baked in. Let's really lean into it. You love that googly eye thing.
I do love the googly eye thing. So when I saw the third eye one, the first thing that came into my head was Sam Fisher's Splinter Cell.
Yeah.
I mean, as fun as it is to do things, we do have to be careful that we don't inadvertently get ourselves.
Right, like the cowl I made is reminiscent of Batman, but it's not Batman. Like it's a cowl. It looks more like a cat. Should we try a soft body match?
Yes, definitely. So I will come out of here and go. Are you hosting a game?
Like to be? I'm hosting a game.
Excellent. I will switch to joining a game and press play.
Who would you like to be?
I'm going to be the cat.
Okay, I will be the princess. Fear the pretty, pretty princess, which is the message I sent to Mikey when I made this character.
I was very confused. So I'm going to go for Garfield. I don't know what Garfield. Let's give him white accents.
And yes, the selection screen was basically inspired by boy band album covers from the 90s. That's why there's one facing in slightly the wrong direction, because there always was. So what interesting thing about the soft bodies, apart from that, they're a pain in the butt to set up. You crashed?
Yeah, I crashed.
Okay. One interesting thing about soft bodies, apart from the fact they're a pain in the butt to set up, is they don't play well with outlines.
No, they end up having a real.
I mean, you'll see it on the cat.
Okay, I've rejoined. Cool. Let's go. Ready. Fingers crossed, guys. Nope. It stopped again. Oh,
Why?
Have we found the bug?
Well, no, not until we know what it is. Because you didn't change anything this time, did you?
No.
All right, one more time.
This time with feeling.
This has been my week, by the way. Like last week, it was AI doing this, and then it was networking doing this. So the problem with networking is it's not just who's responsible for which piece of information, it's which piece of information arrives where, in what order. Boy, you get a lot of bugs that way.
Yeah. It's giving me exactly the same error again.
What error are you getting?
Node not found, quote unquote 6, relative to the root level lab players.
6? Oh, that's an NPC. Huh. Try a different body. Let's see if that works.
Relaunching. This is what testing is like, guys.
Yeah.
So let's do.
I've been doing this from 9 till like 10, like 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. So
I'll pick another random one. So I'll go to the dressing room. Let's go up to random.
Try the ninja. He's got some soft body.
I was going to do what's it called?
Which?
The other one, the one that looks like a Roman.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Let's make. Oh, I like that bright blue. Okay, readying up. I like the fact they do their little
victory dance.
Victory thing.
I wanted to show that someone is ready or changing without having to put words everywhere.
It now says trying to call an RPC via a network peer, which is not connected.
Okay, so something's going on with the network. I don't know what it is. Do I have to restart my Godot?
Possibly. You did have to earlier, didn't you? It wasn't.
I've restarted it each time, so that's not it.
Okay.
Okay, so that doesn't work. So we won't be showing you that unless you want to show it single player, Mikey.
Yeah, that's. Let me do that. Then everybody gets to see what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Isn't this exciting, guys? Here's a game that doesn't launch. It happens.
Well, I mean, it launches, but I need to put more error checking in and more timeout stuff.
Yeah.
Because right now we're not getting error messages, which means when it doesn't connect, we don't know why. Like maybe my internet has reset my IP or something stupid.
Yeah,
no, that wouldn't be it, because then you wouldn't connect. Maybe my bandwidth is too low right now. That's a handy tip, by the way.
So there's the cape flapping around in the wind. Uh-oh.
Genius.
Two of them have decided that the game isn't for them.
Yep. I've made depressed NPCs.
That's a legit strategy, by the way. If someone plants a bomb and you just block them in.
Oh yeah.
So this is going to have a bit better lighting. It's going to be.
Oh yeah, I literally just started making that a few minutes before we went live. So it's going to have some effects, some lighting, some flying saucers going past.
So we were talking earlier about they are not liking playing this
witch
game.
hat, they called it too. A grey witch. At least there was.
I'm so good. So you can see the outline that we've got here, but you can also see one of the challenges with making a soft body is when it clips through itself. It's going to be quite hard to see on the darker level, but you'll probably see the cape's black outline ends up with a big black splodge on it occasionally, not all the time.
Yeah. Which I solved with the princess thing by just removing the outline from the soft body, but we can't do that with capes because the player is picking the color and the color has an outline.
Yeah.
Material, rather. You're right, Ken.
Oh.
That, if you show them the princess thing, they can see what that looks like.
Oh, the princess one? Yep, sure. So we should be able to just go back to the main menu. Nice.
Yep.
Play. And then, yeah, princess. Oh, jump past it. Yeah, purple princess. Love it.
I like the angel too, just because the wings and the halo are so clearly just tacked on.
Yeah. Here we go. Perfect. Does anybody know what the bit at the top of a princess's hat is called?
The cloth. There is actually a name for this type of hat, but everyone calls it a princess hat.
Is it not a
I was very
dunce's
proud
hat?
of how diaphanous I managed to get that cloth.
We've not seen this AI bug in a while.
No, I thought I got rid of that. Oh, clean kill.
2 with 1.
The veil. It could be a veil.
Nice.
I do like the sparkles as well.
I love the way how, even though it sort of spreads out, it doesn't like get in the way of the players or seeing anything on the screen. It's a really nice addition for that.
You needed to make it very thin. What I've done here is I've made it a little bit translucent as well to make it look like lace or silk.
Yeah.
Well, silk. But I was pleasantly surprised that the simulation was just allowing it to rest on blocks.
I died.
You did. The dunce tiara. That's exactly right. I want to know why this isn't working. It worked fine earlier. Let me close Godot entirely and reopen it.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be that your IP has changed.
No, because then you wouldn't be able to see me.
Yeah, you'd have gone bye-bye.
I'm gonna try hosting a game.
Okay, I am going to quit Godot as well.
Games, we do have plans for other game modes, although they won't have NPCs in them just because they get complicated. This might be a bit too much feature creep, but currently the idea is there. The one I'm enjoying most is the Tron cycle.
Oh, are you sharing your screen? Hold on a second.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Am I? No.
Okay, I've relaunched. So I'm going to try and join your game. Hey, I can see you. I'm just going to ready up. Fingers crossed.
So instead of having a maze, you'll just have a trail. Did you make it?
No, it's still got the same. No,
it'll have the error message, 6. But are you stuck on like 5% or something?
Well, 7.
Okay, so something is weird. I wonder. No, that wouldn't be it. Do I have an error message from you?
I've also got another one. Attempt to call function recolor in the base null instance on a null instance.
Okay, so you're not loading all the NPCs in.
Interesting.
If you go to the file manager, no, the scene manager rather, and hit remote.
Remote, yep.
On level rooftop, you see players.
Hold on a second. File manager. Sorry, what was the first bit in the file manager?
Not file manager, in remote, at top left, the scene manager.
Oh, yes, yep. I see level rooftop, yep.
Okay, go to players.
Yep, I just see 1.
Okay, so you haven't loaded yourself in. Because I'm 1. Good, fine. That's an interesting bug. All right, I'll have to track that down. I have absolutely no clue what's causing that, but
hey, it happens. I mean, this is part of developing a game.
Hey, it is. And thank you. I'm really happy with how it's turning out. Well, we got the game playing at the beginning, so I'm pretty happy with that. And we got the single player working.
That's the weird thing, right? When you have, I've still got the rain in my ears, but when it's working, I mean, so glad it was working. But it's such a fun game to play.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and it works local multiplayer.
And nothing's changed. We've literally just decided to play it again, and it's decided. No,
yeah.
You've had your one go this evening. You've had it. You must stop.
Something is stopping the player data from being sent. I'm wondering if you're being told to start the level before you finish loading the data in.
Possibly. Timing is everything when it comes to anything multiplayer.
Oh yeah, it really is. And what that would do would be it's trying to send a recolor to get the information for your appearance.
Yeah.
But your body isn't loaded in yet.
So it's got nowhere to apply it, and it just breaks at that point.
Are you running Godot from the engine, or are you just pressing run on the thing?
I was running it from the engine there, but I was clicking run
Try
earlier.
it the other way. I have a sneaky suspicion.
Okay, that's not a problem. So I'll select it in the project manager. I've just hit run. I'm going to pull the game across. I'm also going to switch us so people.
Well, let's see if it works.
Okay.
Before you get too fancy.
Okay. Right. I've clicked join. It's remembered my settings from earlier.
Yep.
And usually a bit quicker than this.
I'm still at 0. There we go.
Nope, it's loaded up. Interesting.
Right. So it's not a critical bug, but the terminal is stopping it. Well, why is it doing on your end but not mine? Can you actually move? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
I
that's
was
working. Do you like my little flashlight? Oh, it's just us.
Come here, you.
Got a present for you, Mikey. It's an easy victory.
Hurrah!
Space. How low could you go?
It's interesting. So I'm getting the same error on the console.
Yeah, I have to track down what's happening there. But oh, I've got your customization again.
Yes. Out without one bug, in with the new.
I wonder if it's the same bug.
Hey, we tag teamed them.
Bye, Madge. Platinum Jubilee, my butt. Nope.
Oh, you lucky.
No, I actually don't mind that. I'm losing track of which one I am. Yeah, Mike, why don't you pick this up?
Oh.
Mikey's a very aggressive player.
No, I is not. Now come here.
All right.
Oh. No. Oh, phew. I had a way out.
How did you? Oh, because you put a bomb there.
Yes. Dropping a bomb is a way out of that.
Sneaky.
Oh, we might actually last long enough for the level to shrink again.
If it does, I actually don't know if it will. I can't remember if I told it to shrink 3 times or 2. Yes, I did.
Now it becomes hide and seek because your blasts go across the entire map. No!
Yes! And I killed myself.
There is no winner.
That's the smallest we've got that map.
Nice. So, you guys that are watching, can you think of any other game modes that you'd like to see in this type of game?
Or any other accessories you want to see that don't get us sued.
We're definitely going to have a toucan. That's already on the cards.
Yep. Gotta have a toucan. Sneaky. Other game modes are the reverse Pac-Man, which I'm very proud of.
Turn-based
where there is
bomber.
the character like Pac-Man randomly going around a map, and the first of us to kill them wins. Moustaches, I like it. I quite like the eagle one, but it's a bit too subtle. Like, it's a little hard to see what's going on with it.
Oh,
I was going to call it the Frankenstein, but then everyone would be like, no, the monster's not Frankenstein. The doctor's Frankenstein. To which I will say, no, the doctor is the monster.
Look at what he created.
No, that's mine. Give me that.
I can
That's
move
mine, you
super
little
quickly.
weasel.
So I switched to the top-down view. I realised I've not actually shown that for anybody who's...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, are you stuck? Oh,
No,
how did you...
it froze.
Oh, that was lag.
Yeah.
Oh, invisible bombs that only you see.
Sneaky. So yeah, reverse Pac-Man is there's a character like Pac-Man that isn't Pac-Man.
Oh, yes.
Going around the map, but we have to kill it like the ghosts. You haven't loaded in, Mikey. Oh, there you are.
Yep.
I need to get that timer working as well. That's on my bug list.
Nope.
What else do we have? A Frogger style one where there's like random traffic coming across the level. Oh, smooth, Mikey.
We've got desync at this point.
Have we?
Yeah.
All right. In that case, that's a good place to end.
Awesome.
Hello, Mark. How you doing? So yeah, it's coming along. We're coming up to the hour now.
Already? Awesome.
Yeah, I think we've talked quite a lot about what we're putting into the game, but we should talk a little bit about the design decision. So the design decision is the game itself should be very simple. I feel like the rounds should be even quicker.
Yeah.
But as much detail as possible should be given to making the characters and the levels come to life. And then maybe a couple of other game modes once everything else is perfectly stable.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a couple
Mikey
of ideas.
Says I have to put in a matchmaking thing so you can play with strangers. I hate playing with strangers, so I don't want to, but I think he might be right. A spike bomb that circles the map. I do kind of want to put in like a meteor shower, which telegraphs where it's going to land, and it just drops bombs.
An orbital strike.
Yep.
Boom. Yeah. Oh, we did think about because it's based upon rows and columns, having something like a laser beam in the evil lab, having a laser beam power up on the edge and then blast across. We should be pretty awesome.
I also thought of some of the levels maybe closing off parts of the grid so that they become like corridors rather than grid areas. Hey, Todd.
Oh yes, of course we could have doors that open and shut as well to change the dynamic of the level.
Yes, I just have to remember to
You'd have to redo the A star every time that happened.
Redo the A star, yeah. So we are using A star. The documentation for A star and Godot, not wonderful. It's fine, but not great. Actually, the documentation isn't the problem. It'd be really nice to see the nodes.
Yes,
in
you're
the
saying that.
editor.
Yeah.
I ended up having to write a little workaround so I could see them. But I don't know if it's worth complaining about that because in Godot 4, the whole navigation system changes anyway. Didn't choose to make it in Godot 4 because Godot 4 isn't ready for production. And there's still things like you can't currently, as far as I can see, accurately redo navigation at runtime on a grid map still.
Even though it's something that should be possible in Godot 4. And, you know, this is really practicing what we preach when it comes to do not do an active project that's important in an alpha or even beta bit of software, because one change could ruin your entire code or just mean that the game doesn't run. I mean, it could be a really subtle thing, like you need to change how you're doing your materials or something along those lines, and it changes the aesthetic of the game, but that's still going to be a ton of work that you have to redo.
On the plus side, the navigation would have made the NPC stuff a lot easier, because right now I'm using a state machine. And if I could just say to the state machine, you want to go over here and let the navigation agent just deal with that. Don't give it any paths, don't do anything. It's like, you know where you are. In Godot 4, you could also do things like have levels with moving floors, and it would just recalculate. What do you use to play together from different networks? I mean, right now we're using direct IP connection with port forwarding on my side.
I was going to say we're using the internet.
Yeah. Eventually, we want to use Steam. We'll have to do that though.
Yeah. So yeah, we want to push forward to the point where we can go through the entire process, so we can teach the entire process as well. Because some things are behind an NDA. So if you do stuff with Microsoft through the Game Studio stuff, or
Right.
Or PlayStation Network, when you get to that stage, it's behind an NDA, and they really take control and guide you through the process anyway. At that point, Steam, we're not sure of how much of it is behind an NDA.
Whereas also at that point, you start getting different levels of complexity, especially when you're dealing with online multiplayer. And
Yeah.
I don't know how much energy it's worth putting into Steam multiplayer in Godot 3 when Godot 4 is coming out and we have 2 massive courses. So I don't know the scale of the course on the back of this yet, but we figure it'll be something that 1, people can just play. 2, we can show people, hey, here are the kinds of things we know how to make.
Yeah. And often a simple game like this is perfect for doing things like multiplayer. Even Godot Getaway was quite more advanced in terms of what needed to be done. But in this particular instance, it's a very simple game, and that means you can build it and get to the point of where you have a multiplayer game a lot quicker, because there aren't that many systems that you have to make sure are communicating backwards and forwards.
Yep. And yeah, I think from a design point of view, the matches are slightly too long.
Yep. I would say to really heat it up, get it in.
I'm interested in my game contains local multiplayer, and I already had paid for Steam. Yeah, local multiplayer is a lot of fun. Online multiplayer is tricky. I've actually had to rewrite the entire networking system and customization system twice in the past week, because you get, if your structure isn't really clean and rigid and just not rigid, modular and easy to build upon, you get so confused as to what piece of information is arriving when. And then you get things like you're trying to call a node that isn't here yet.
And it's not always clear what the error happens to be. I mean, there are certain ways that you could potentially put a series of tests at each stage, and it has to pass the test before it runs the code. But it also gets in the way at the same time of actually getting the code written. So it's kind of a balance.
Local network, but totally different machines. I mean, that would just be knowing what machine they're on your router, so knowing their local IP address.
Yeah. In our case, we're using Yann's IP for me to connect to, but you would just use most networks are like 192.168.0.1, and then the IP address of
the number.
I mean, if you don't have that as your local IP, you probably know what you're doing anyway when it comes to managing your own networks. But yeah, you just direct connect to the machine.
I mean, that would actually work here, to be honest.
Yeah.
That was another thing I was going to say. It's gone. Oh yeah, we did take a look at Steam, their local connect or whatever it's called, the local play together, where you can you go onto their machine and stream onto it.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Well, hardly anyone uses that. So you could do that anyway, or we could put in this system and integrate it and say, click the friends button, find Mikey, find Jess, find Jelly, invite them.
Yeah.
Lose horribly. Or, as Mikey says, put in the matchmaking system.
With an only friends tick that does exactly the same thing.
Right. But my problem there is I have to design the thing, and, I have to figure out what information we need and how to update it, and is it secure? And
I mean, one of the things that we realized just before going live today is that we need to make sure things like IPs are obscured if we're streaming this sort of thing. We don't want Yann's IP floating around the internet.
Nope.
But there are also other things, like if you had a password for your server, you can just send that plain text. It'd have to be encrypted in order to send it. Well,
if anyone's streaming it, that's a great way to get griefed. No, I keep forgetting what I was going to say. Coffee's wearing off.
So Roderick says he always gets spooked by opening a port to the wild internet. Yeah, I mean it is the moment you open a port to the internet, you fundamentally compromise the security of your own network, especially if you don't know what that code is that's running that needs that port.
Yeah, it's a bit like putting a number lock on your front door and hoping that, you know, no one gives it out. No, I'm with you, Jenny. It's very easy to do that. So the nice thing about this is your player will always start in the same corner. So if I'm the host, I'll always be in the top left. If Mikey is player 3, he'll be in the bottom left.
Yeah.
That doesn't always help. I am thinking maybe I need to put the player name or the scene profile name above the character for a second, but even then you'll lose who you are.
And the customization, unless two people happen to customize exactly the same, then you're
I get turned into Mikey.
Or that happens, then your customization, you know, it's likely that one of you will be bright red, one of you will be bright yellow, one will be purple, and whatever. But you'll be different. You'll have different attachments on you as well.
So Mikey pointed out this is our first violent game because we don't make a lot of these, and I was like, well, this is very, very cartoony violence. Like the explosions are words that say things like "pow" and "bang" and "explode." But it has led to certain things. Like I was going to put some turbans in because I thought, well, this represents some different cultures. It's like, I don't know that I want to make a game that's going to allow racists to make brown characters with turbans and make racist bombing jokes. Like, let's make it more difficult for them, not easier.
Yeah. So that there will be certain things that we're really cognizant about when it comes to the accessories that we're going to allow on the characters.
And there's some that we've put in and they're like, that looks obscene. Let's take that out. Like, okay, that's gone.
Yeah.
Or there was that really unfortunate one with the first iteration of the bunny.
Yep.
Where the teeth looked like a Hitler moustache, and you pointed that out. It's like, they're gone.
Yep. Very adamant. Yeah. That's exactly what we're going for in terms of
inspiration. In fact, the color palette I'm using from Low Spec is called Gotham. Like, this is inspired by old Batman TV shows and comics.
Yeah. So, you know, what do they call it? A half-tone shader? I'd love to see if that would work in the game pretty well. That so those who don't
played with it, it actually just makes it feel very grainy. But carry on.
Yeah, so I was thinking for like the backdrops and stuff, it might look. In fact, the backdrop has a half-tone shader. What am I on about?
Well, it doesn't have a shader. I just made it in GIMP. And...
but yeah, a fruit hat. Yes.
Yes, definitely.
Are you at 5,000 Steam wish list yet? No,
I'm at 20.
But we have created a Steam account. So I don't know what happens on Steam. Do you follow the account? Do you add it or whatever? I don't know what happens on that front, but we'll work that out as we go through the process. And
when our multiplayer is slightly more stable, we want to start recording some footage and start getting the hype out there, putting a page together and getting it ready. There's a number of reasons why we want to make this project. One of which is to advertise to students. Here's some of the things we can make.
Yeah.
One of it is just a simple, here's a cheap little game you can play with your friends.
Yeah.
Thanks for a few bucks.
We've been wanting to release definitely
every project we've ever made, we're like, I want to release this as a game.
Yeah, Godot Getaway was definitely online to become a game, but we kind of had other stuff to do, and it was quite a complex game to get everything ready for. Mag Racer, we just I'm definitely going to put a pin in the future saying that is going to become a game, and I want to pursue it again just because of the actual game itself. I like the feeling of it.
If I can make the flight mechanics more intuitive, because I was the only one who could get around that course. But putting that in Godot 4, even the space boat isn't so bad, but like it took so much practice to fly the thing. But yeah, so one of the things we'll do is we'll get it out to like some of the friendlier streamers out there. Like we're going to be a little bit careful who we associate our name with, because we're an education company, and we don't need a whole bunch of very toxic behavior in our Discord because it's not the place for that. But it's one of the reasons to make this game as polished as possible is to look good, and one of it is just to make a game we want to play. Yeah.
Ultimately, that I think any game that we end up making will be one that we find fun to play, because any projects that we find, any projects that we have that we're a bit like, they just don't get done. They die early.
Bounce his way around the track pretty well. Mikey could just about do it, but most other people couldn't make a lap.
It's because you couldn't reverse in the game, because there were no reverse thrusters. So you kind of had to spin on the spot and then go. But a lot of people would either
We
try
had to
and
get used
break.
to the idea that your momentum would keep going when you turned.
Yes. So it
So
was
you have
often
to turn and boost.
yeah,
at
you
just
would
the right time.
drift. You would essentially be drifting around the corner, or as we constantly said, space boats. You turn, it
Yeah,
doesn't.
space boats.
Off we go.
You know what
Physics.
other game we wanted to make? Cube Did Kickabout.
Yes, I could see making like a go. So one of my favorite games from when I was younger was Sensible Soccer. It was such a arcade soccer game, but I could see sort of like a modern version of that. Maybe not with the because there was like a was there a World War II mode where you kicked
I never played it.
kicked around a grenade? I seem to remember that might have been a different game. I'm sure someone
I
out
have
there
so
knows.
little interest in soccer, football, cricket, baseball, rugby, kabaddi. Like
But
I have so
I found
little
that
interest
game
in
really
sports.
fun, despite not really enjoying the actual thing. I found
Right.
Sensible Soccer a lot of fun.
Todd, that is an excellent point. It's actually one of the reasons I want to do it, and one of the reasons that I want to put the Godot logo in the loading screen. In fact, I have an idea of taking the skyline level,
Yep.
putting a great big bat signal in it, and just putting the Godot logo in the bat signal.
That'd be perfect.
Right? Because there are a bunch of games out there on Steam right now that are made in Godot that look really interesting. I didn't even realize that Turing Complete is a Godot game. Which is a game that teaches you how to make a computer.
Does it have the
from
splash
scratch.
screen from Godot as it loads up?
Well, right now, the splash screen is the one you see, the Godot logo, but you can replace that with any image.
No, I
And
mean the game that you were mentioning, the Turing.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, so this is obviously one of the potential problems Godot has as a game engine. It doesn't stipulate that you have to say made in Godot.
Actually, that's not true.
Oh,
it stipulates that you have to put that somewhere in your game.
Okay, somewhere. So
it could be in the credits somewhere, but it's not like Unity or Unreal where they expect you to put it in the loading screen, like the splash screen.
Yeah. So there was a game that I've been playing recently. It's a space mining game. It's called Delta V, and that shocked me as I was loading it up. I was like, "It's made in Godot."
Yep.
But they actually put it in the titles. I wouldn't have known that otherwise, unless like in the description it said developed in Godot. But it's amazing to actually see games out there using the Godot game engine that are actually polished and finished games as well.
The variety of games you can make in an engine, any engine,
Yeah.
is stunning. I mean, there's plenty of times you'll be playing a game and you go, "This is an Unreal game."
You can tell sometimes with the aesthetic that not much has been done.
The way
with
the
the
first-person controls feel, the way things load in. After a while, you're like, "Yep, this feels like Unreal."
Yeah.
And there's things you could do to like mitigate that and all the rest of it, but it works out the box. And you want large-scale multiplayer, Unreal.
Yeah.
Unity, a little less so. But yeah, like I've never made a game that looks like this. And the great thing is, do you know what started this game, Mikey? Toucan sprite sheets.
Yeah.
And you were like, you and I were talking, and we're like, would it be easier just to make them as skeletons? Then we could just bring the sprite sheets in and just render all the animations in Godot and create a tool for a sprite sheet. And I was like, can I do that in 3D? So I made a cylinder body and a couple of stupid feet and arms and put the animations in. It was like, this is actually kind of a fun character. Let's see him running around.
We don't need to do it.
Yeah. Bomberman.
Sonic colors.
Sonic colors has got it. Yeah. So it's coming along. It's definitely picking up speed, and I think Godot 4 is going to be a big injection of caffeine into the whole system.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when it comes to releasing this as a game, I can foresee us releasing it using Godot 3. There are we were talking about, at what stage would it be release ready, and what else could actually be coming soon. Because it can be released as a version 1 local multiplayer, and then potentially version 1.1 would be adding other things, or even version 2 might come along.
But you have to rewrite the whole thing anyway to get online multiplayer in.
Yeah, I was just using that as an example rather than what's actually going to happen. So that there are stages at which we could say, version 1 contains 100 accessories, and then version 1.1, we've added a ton new accessories and we've fixed 5 bugs that were game stopping or whatever. So there'll
I mean, I
kind of
did
be a
look into
timeline
how
for it.
easy it would be to convert this to Godot 4, and currently it wouldn't be, because you have to rename every animation track, apart from anything else, because translation in 3D is now position, which means all of your animations you have to go in manually and change right shoulder translation to right shoulder position for every single one, and that's without going into the script and changing all that.
Yeah.
The way export variables work, set gets completely different, so that would have to be changed. Signals are different.
Yeah.
Yield is gone. It's replaced by a weight, which I still forget how to use properly. All of the particles would have to be remade, because they do transfer, but they don't transfer completely, so you have to go and tweak them.
It'll be an interesting project to see when Godot 4 is finally out. And one of the things they promised is the ability to open up a previous project and it translates it into Godot 4.
More or less. I mean, you will have to go in and fix it. And I'm getting pretty good at spotting the differences. I mean, maybe when Godot 4 is out and I've made enough headway with the next Godot 4 course, which I almost gave the name away for, and the AERPG course, that we say, hey, there's a major update for it. We've redone the AI and the pathfinding and all of the graphics. We're now in the new version of Godot. Hooray!
Yeah.
But maybe not, because it's basically rewriting the game.
Yeah. And at that point, we might want to focus our energies on one of the other games mentioned, or perhaps even something else.
Yeah.
So, all exciting. I love it.
Like, maybe we'll do a really like fancy high fidelity graphics version of, what number am I thinking of?
42.
Sorry, I was channeling my inner Bill and Ted there.
Nope.
Nope. Probably just as well. All right, we have been waffling on for an hour and a quarter. Does anyone have any questions, concerns, thoughts, comments, more suggestions, jingles, and interpretive dances?
I've got an interpretive dance. There we go. No,
it's very nice.
So what whilst they're thinking about questions, if you've got any, of course. If not, that's also fine. What's next week, Yann? Is it back to Godot?
It's Godot. Yeah.
No, it's not. It's back to the Canopy chat.
Oh, it's Toucan Talk. You're quite right.
If by any chance you click on the link and it says Canopy Chat and changes to Toucan Talk, and then by the time we're streaming, it's back on Canopy Chat, it wasn't us. There's just a gremlin.
You'll know who made the thumbnail. Accessories that you guys want to see. Like Mikey's been talking about making a gas mask and possibly a Bane-style mask. Yeah. I want to put some more cybernetic stuff in and some more like kitsch B-movie 1950 sci-fi stuff, like the Ming the Merciless collar and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
We want to put some other capes in. We're thinking about changing how capes work.
Oh, Edna mode.
So that any costume can have a cape, but there'll just be a button that says Edna. And when you mouse over it, it says enable Edna mode, and it removes the cape.
No capes.
Although there are some costumes you couldn't do it with, because having a princess with the big flappy thing in the cape, they're going to clip through each other.
Yeah. Are you sure you want to do this? Do it anyway.
Oh, no, I would just have a little thing that says disable capes. Ability to tunnel to another tile on the map. Tempting.
Oh, we were talking about something similar. You know, it stems from talking about Pac-Man, where you can go off one side of the screen and come on the other. That's a possibility in here as well.
Cardboard box hat is actually already on the list, as is dealy boppers, which if you're not sure are those two little things on springs that you wear on your head.
So cardboard box, that would be the Metal Gear Solid homage.
We just draw a little face on it. Yep.
Little cut out with two googly eyes.
I want to do a cute dinosaur hat. I want to do my teaching hat. We've got Toucan.
Yeah.
Getting the Toucan to work with the colors would be interesting.
So obviously we could break it down into a set of, you know, there's going to be some animal ones, there's going to be some sci-fi ones, there's going to be perhaps some
fantasy ones,
yeah,
lots of superhero ones, because that's the basic theme of the game. Sorry, allergies are kicking in.
So yeah, by all means, drop over to the Discord and send your answers there if you're watching this later on as well. And if you are watching this later on, thank you for getting through an hour and 20, even if it was on double speed.
Or if you just skip to the end to see if we said anything interesting. You don't have to tell us. Flappy Duck Beak. Yes, I like that one. Darkwing Duck. We have 2 ducks back to back.
Oh, I remember Daffy Duck when he gets blown up in the cartoons. Is whoop, it goes round to the back of his head.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I mean, it's foul, but get it. Thank you. I also want to do an ice cream, just like a blob of ice cream with a cherry on top.
Yeah, that's the great thing though, that because it's a really simple aesthetic, you can do these things relatively quickly. And
the space helmet took very little time.
Hmm.
I mean, honestly, most of the time was just separating out the objects to get the colors right. Like the hose was curve, bevel, mesh, done.
Next. A
fried egg, naturally.
A fried egg hat. A Salvador Dali one that droops down.
Mm-hmm. Bob the Skull.
Bob should feature in more games. If we ever do a Godot Getaway remake, he's going to be at the front of one of the cars.
Nice. You can also put him on all the lampposts.
I mean, as joking as it is, that's how an aesthetic of a game ends up coming around. Someone thinks it's funny to put skulls all over the map, and suddenly there you go. You've got
suddenly you're in a gothic horror. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Thank you, everybody.
That's been a good hour and 20 minutes. Folks, thank you so much for joining us. Mikey, thank you for having me.
Welcome. Thank you
for your lovely ideas.
Thank you for making an awesome game.
I mean, it's still crashy, but...
Oh, a special Bob the Skull bomb. Nice. Like a 1 in 50 chance, and it just takes out the entire...
No. You have to be able to tell what's happening. Like, I should know... Your bombs have a spread of 3, and you've placed one there. Random chance is antithetical. But a power-up where your bomb fires a skull in all 4 directions.
I like it.
Make a castle level. Oh, yeah.
Yep, castle medieval. I think a medieval level with a castle in it would be awesome.
Or even full evil.
Or should I go? Random bomb does now.
Yeah. Just. Oh, we should do a jester costume.
Yes, I love it.
With soft body, like points on the head. Although jesters didn't wear that costume. That's a Victorian invention. But
I mean,
that's the history nerd in me again.
Could we like have it so it jingles as well? It's a really irritating one to have.
But be careful what you wish for. Because irritating sound effects are actually irritating.
A medieval
spacesuit, yeah.
A knight.
That is actually on the list.
Yeah.
We should actually just let people post on the Trello board.
Yeah. I don't know how to enable.
We'll do that later.
We'll sort that out and get back to you guys inside of community.
Yeah, because I haven't even done it yet. Computer map. Yeah, I was thinking about that. An old school driving helmet. Okay, so the light cycle map, which is not Tron, I might give it a different name, like Trans, is basically you running very fast, leaving a trail behind you. There's no grid. There's no, it's just very neon and everything. Maybe top down, maybe not. And you just try and make each other crash.
I like that.
And you can't stop and you can't go backwards.
But you can crash into yourself. So
actually, we could make it so you can go backwards because then you just die.
The controls would have to be tight for that not to be annoying.
No, you're going right and you hit left. That's on you.
Feature creep apocalypse. Yes, but we can put it into the rejected pile and then you can drag it back again and then we can. No, we'll sort out the Trello board so people can have access to it in some form, probably through comments or something, like add your ideas here, and then we can populate the board.
Or just make a document somewhere, or so people could see what we're adding.
Yeah.
I do want to keep some of these things a surprise because Mikey didn't know about the spacesuit and the space level.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The space helmet was good. Like, That came out really nicely.
It did. And one of the downsides when you start getting into the flow of making assets is you then look at your beginning ones and go, like the unicorn. You've already revised the unicorn because the other
Top
ones.
Hat.
Yeah.
Top Hat's got to go.
We want a Stetson as well. I want a Stetson, so that's coming.
I want a Stetson.
And a Trilby.
I
white line.
want. We've got a bowler. Although you can't really like it because I use reference materials to make it look realistic. It doesn't look like what everyone thinks a bowler is.
I thought it looked like
So
a
they
bowler
just
hat.
look like fair enough.
But it could come across as a beanie if you're not.
Feature Creepopolis should be the name of Mikey and Yann's album. Yep. We could open a new Discord chat for Tac-Tics. I've also got to figure out like what our beta testing thing is going to look like.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that it's worth us going to early access.
I mean, these are all details we just need to iron out after
but
we've
we
gone through the
need
Steam stuff.
feedback
Yeah.
for this to catch all the bugs.
Yeah. Because even though we can find quite a few, once the game is relatively stable, there are going to be bugs that we're just not going to come across in the hours
Mikey
that we
found
can
a
put
great
in
one
play.
when I first started making the AI. It was still pretty dumb, where you run up to them and they panic. So all you have to do is drop a bomb, count to 4.5, then run away, and they'll blow up. So I had to change it so that if they can't get away, they'll drop a bomb too.
Yeah.
Beta lottery, maybe beta lottery.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Lots of
What we won't
exciting
do
news.
is a Kickstarter, because although that'd be really fun, we still haven't delivered on the last one.
Yeah.
And that just doesn't feel good. Like that feels really money grabby.
Yeah. And this is
It'd be such a
this is
good
ultimately-
project for a Kickstarter, but no.
Well, maybe we get it to a certain size, finish off Godot Action RPG in the new Godot 4 course, and then really go for it, depending on its popularity.
And we're not doing day one DLC. We probably won't do paid DLC unless it's something significant.
There's likely to be a day one update, but it's only going to be megabytes at best.
Day one update is fine, but like the idea is you should be able to get these costume pieces by playing, not.
I mean,
here's $4 for a hat.
Yeah, I totally get it. If you something like League of Legends is free to play, I understand at that point the DLC for customization and everything is actually how their studio supports themselves. Buying a game and then locking stuff behind a wall, I don't like the feeling that gives me. Anyway, we're starting to ramble again, so I'm going to do an MC thing and say goodnight. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
Present.
Hold on.
Present.
Hold on.
Present.